Hey there, and welcome. So, if you've spent any time at all in a modern workplace, you've probably heard that alphabet soup of business metrics being thrown around, especially OKRs and KPIs. They're literally everywhere, but wow, are they also a massive source of confusion? Today, we're going to cut right through that fog. We'll figure out what they are not, and how you can actually use them to get things done. Let's get to it. This quote really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? So many people treat OKRs and KPIs like they're two competing ways to do the exact same thing. But they're not. It's kind of like asking if you should use a map or a speedometer to drive across the country. The answer is you need both, but for very, very different reasons. Right, that's the big question we're tackling today. And honestly, getting this right is about so much more than just using the right jargon. It's about fundamentally changing how you and your team think about success. This explainer is going to give you the clarity you need to measure what truly matters. Okay, let's stick with that journey metaphor for a bit. Think of your company's strategy as one big road trip. An OKR, well, that's your map. And it doesn't just show you the roads, it sets that ambitious, exciting destination you're actually trying to reach. So OKRs stands for Objectives and Key Results. It's a whole strategic framework, not just another metric. John Doerr, the guy who famously brought OKRs to Google, came up with this super simple formula that explains it perfectly. I will, as measured by. The I will part, that's your objective, the big inspiring goal. And the as measured by part, well, that's your set of key results, the numbers that prove you actually got there. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. When you break down the two parts, the objective, it should be inspiring. It's a vision, something like deliver a world-class customer experience. The key results, on the other hand, they have to be grounded in cold, hard reality. They must be quantitative. The rule is super simple. If it doesn't have a number, it is not a key result, period. And oh man, this slide just nails the single most important concept behind OKRs, focusing on outcomes, not outputs. See, an output is just a task you complete, like launching a feature. An outcome is the result you achieve, like making your customers happier or more successful. A bad OKR is basically a to-do list. A good OKR measures real, tangible impact. So, if OKRs are your map and your destination, then what in the world are KPIs? Well, they're the instruments on your car's dashboard. They are the gauges, your speedometer, your fuel level, your engine temperature, that tell you if your vehicle is healthy enough to actually complete the journey. Yup, a key performance indicator is a metric that tracks the health and success of your day-to-day operations. It's not about driving some massive strategic change like an OKR is. It's about monitoring your business-as-usual performance to make sure everything's running smoothly. Just think of them as your company's vital signs. So how do you use them effectively? The key is focus. You don't want a dashboard with like 100 blinking lights, right? That's just chaos. Keep your KPIs to a bare minimum. Make sure they're tied directly to a strategic goal and look at them regularly. A KPI that isn't driving action is really just noise. Okay, so here's where we bring it all together. That whole apples and oranges confusion just disappears when you realize you're not comparing two types of metrics. No, you're comparing a strategic framework with a performance metric. This slide lays it out perfectly. OKRs are for pushing boundaries, for achieving ambitious new things, usually within a set time frame like a quarter. KPIs are for monitoring ongoing health continuously. An OKR asks, where are we going? A KPI asks, how are we doing right now? This football analogy is fantastic for understanding how this all works inside a team. Every single player on the field, from the goalie to the striker, shares one single objective: win the game. But their individual key results, the metrics that define their success, are completely different. A striker is measured by goals scored. A goalie is measured by goals saved. Same objective, totally different ways to measure their contribution. So it is not OKR versus KPI. It's OKR and KPI. They are complementary. They're partners. You use OKRs to set your ambitious, game-changing destination, and you use KPIs to make sure your engine doesn't blow out on the way there. They work together to connect your grand strategy to your daily execution. Now, this whole idea of focusing on outcomes, it isn't just a small tweak. For a lot of teams, especially in product development, it is a complete and total paradigm shift that can absolutely revolutionize the way they work. And check out this really provocative take from product legend Marty Kagan. He says that OKRs aren't something you do in addition to your traditional product roadmap. He says they are a direct replacement for it. That's a pretty bold claim, right? So, what's the logic here? Well, it comes right back to that core distinction we've been talking about this whole time. A traditional roadmap is often just a list of features to be built. It's a checklist of outputs. It is entirely possible to ship every single item on your roadmap and have zero impact on the business. OKRs force you to start with the business outcome you want to achieve, and then they empower your team to figure out the best way to get there. So let's look at one final practical example to bring this all home. Your objective is to increase revenue. Great. Your key results are specific, measurable revenue targets. That's your OKR. It's your big strategic push. At the exact same time, you'll monitor a related KPI, like daily active users, to make sure that while you're pushing for more revenue, you aren't accidentally tanking user engagement. See how they work hand in hand? And that really brings us to our final thought. Take a hard look at how your team sets its goals. Are you just making a fancy to-do list of outputs, or are you creating a strategic map that leads to a truly meaningful destination? The answer to that question? Well, it can make all the difference. Thanks for joining me for this explainer.